Ambassador Thelvan had studied every recorded first contact scenario in galactic history. The Concordate's archive stretched back 17,000 cycles, documenting 2,147 successful integrations of species into the galactic community. He had memorized the protocols, understood the patterns, and believed he knew what to expect when humanity sent their acceptance signal. He was wrong. The first contact with humanity had occurred 63 years earlier, when the Kresh Empire had discovered Earth. The Kresh were hunters, conquerors who measured worth in submission. They arrived with demands, not greetings. According to the fragmented records salvaged from their fleet, they expected compliance within standard protocol timeframes. Humanity responded with nuclear fire. The battle lasted 3 days. When it ended, the Kresh subjugation fleet, 17 dreadnoughts, 42 cruisers, and hundreds of support craft, had been reduced to debris orbiting a small blue world that refused to kneel. The Kresh never spoke of it again, their pride too wounded to admit that a pre-FTL species had destroyed their most decorated war fleet. The Galactic Concordate learned of humanity's existence through intercepted distress signals, through the silence where a Kresh fleet once broadcast its dominance. The Council debated for years. Some argued for quarantine, others for preemptive strikes. But Elder Consortium member Thelvan had argued for patience, for understanding. They defended themselves, he told the Council. We do not punish survival. Now, 6 decades later, humanity had finally responded to the Concordate's diplomatic overtures. They requested a meeting. Neutral space, 1 ship each. No weapons. Thelvan's vessel, the Harmonious Dawn, waited at the designated coordinates in the Epsilon Void, a region of space so empty that the nearest star was a pale suggestion on the sensors. His crew of 20 diplomats, linguists, and cultural specialists waited with him, their anticipation electric in the sterile air. When humanity's ship arrived, silence fell across the Harmonious Dawn. It wasn't a warship. Thelvan had expected something brutal, angular, covered in the scars of their violent introduction to the galaxy. Instead, the human vessel was elegant, smooth curves of white and silver that caught the distant starlight like a pearl. It bore no visible weapons, no armor plating, no signs of aggression. The inscription along its hull, translated instantly by their systems, read, UNSS Olive Branch. They named it after a peace symbol, his linguistics officer whispered, one of her 4 eyes blinking rapidly in surprise. From their ancient history, the communication channel opened. A human appeared on the view screen, female with dark skin and gray-streaked hair pulled back from a face that carried the weight of years. She wore a simple blue uniform with no military insignia. Ambassador Thelvan, she said, her voice steady and clear. I am Dr. Elena Martinez, representing the United Nations of Earth. Thank you for waiting for us. Thelvan inclined his head, his translator rendering his words into human languages. Dr. Martinez, the Concordate has waited with hope for this moment. We know what you wish to extend, Martinez interrupted gently. We've been listening to your broadcast for 60 years. We know about the Concordate, about the 2,847 species you've welcomed into the galactic community. A pause hung between them, pregnant with unspoken tension. We also know what you didn't say, Martinez continued. That 127 species refused your invitation. That 127 species were quarantined, blockaded, cut off from the stars until they either collapsed or submitted. That in your 17,000 cycles of history, not one species has remained independent once discovered. Thelvan felt his throat sacs tighten. The Concordate ensures peace. Unity prevents conflict. Every species that has joined has prospered, under your rules, speaking your languages, following your laws. Martinez's expression remained neutral, but her eyes were sharp. The Kresh came to conquer us with weapons. You come to conquer us with kindness. The method differs. The result is the same. That is not we do not conquer. Thelvan struggled to find words. In all his years across hundreds of negotiations, no species had framed first contact this way. Let me tell you what humanity learned in our 3 days of blood, Martinez said, leaning forward. We learned that we were alone, that the galaxy was full of species older, stronger, more advanced than us. We learned that survival meant being willing to pay any price. She gestured and the view screen split. Images appeared, humanity's progress over 60 years. Cities rebuilt, technology advancing, Ships, not weapons of war but vessels of exploration, spreading slowly through their solar system. We spent 60 years preparing. Not for war, we've had enough of that. We prepared for this conversation. We studied you, all of you, the Concordat and the empires beyond it. We learned your languages, your cultures, your histories. We wanted to understand what we would face when we opened this channel. And what did you conclude? Thelvan asked quietly. Martinez's expression softened slightly. That the galaxy is afraid. That for 17,000 cycles you've been building a system designed to prevent another Kresh, another conqueror. That you genuinely believe unity is the only path to peace. It is, Thelvan said. Surely your own history shows. Our history shows that forced unity breeds resentment, rebellion, and eventual collapse, Martinez countered. Ambassador, humanity is not interested in joining the Concordat. We are not interested in your quarantine either. We are offering a third option, one that has never existed in your records. Thelvan felt something shift in his understanding. What option? Coexistence. True coexistence. We will remain independent. We will govern ourselves, advance at our own pace, make our own mistakes. In return, we will not interfere with the Concordat. We will establish trade, share knowledge, engage in cultural exchange, all on equal terms. We will be neighbors, not subjects or enemies. The Council will never accept. The Council will accept, Martinez said with quiet certainty. Because we have made humanity too expensive to quarantine and too valuable to ignore. Our technology has advanced considerably. Our ship here carries no weapons, Ambassador. But there are 300 others throughout our system that do. We don't want war, but we've proven we'll fight if we must. She paused, letting that reality settle. But more than that, we offer something the Concordat has never had. An example. A species that can thrive outside your system. A proof that unity and diversity can coexist. Some of your member species are watching this conversation. They're wondering if another path is possible. Thelvan realized she was right. The broadcast was public, transmitted across Concordat space. Billions were watching this moment. You would fracture everything we've built, he said, though his voice lacked conviction. We would offer an alternative, Martinez replied. Change is frightening, Ambassador. But stagnation is death. The galaxy is vast enough for multiple ways of existence. Silence stretched between them, not the silence of hostility but of possibility. Finally, Thelvan spoke. I will present your proposal to the Council. Martinez nodded. That's all we ask. A conversation. The first contact ended in blood because the Kresh offered us only conquest. We hope the second one ends in silence, the silence of understanding, of respect for boundaries, of peace without submission. The channel closed. Thelvan sat in his command chair, his crew looking to him for guidance. He had no answers, only questions that would reshape the galaxy. Humanity had changed the equation, not with weapons this time, but with words that struck deeper than any blade. The silence that followed would echo across the stars for generations to come.